I've had the South African ADL coming at me, but the way that it came, Alex, is the first I learned of it was on the 24th of July when a policeman arrived at my gate, and I see this strange guy. He wasn't in a uniform, but I see this black guy at the gate, and he's hooting, and I go to the gate, and I ask him who he is, and he says he's a captain in the police. And I say, why are you here? And he said, I'm here for police business. And he had a file in his hand, and he shows me his badge. And he tells me, I've got a criminal case against you. And I'm like, really? A criminal case, like against me? And Alex, in January 2021, I will have lived in South Africa for 40 years. 40 years. I came here as a teenager. In 40 years, I've never once set foot in a South African court of law. I've not been a plaintiff. I've not been a defendant. I've not even been involved in a civil case, and definitely never involved in a criminal case. And here is this guy saying to me that there's this woman, and she's a professor, and she's laid a criminal charge of a crime called crimen injuria against me, and that and so I say to him, how can I have committed a crime against a woman I don't even know? I don't know this person. I've never met this person. Who is this person? How can I commit a crime against somebody I've never met and I don't know they exist? And I ended up having to give him an interview and a statement and all that about this whole issue, and that was the 24th of July. And then, Alex, just over a week ago, about 10 days ago, I get visits, almost a little bit like Allison. I get a visit, and there are 3 cops pitching up at my gate, and one of them is like in civilian clothes, but he's rather buffy and he's armed. And these 3 cops are at my gate, and they say also a police criminal matter. And so they come into my property, and they inform me that the same person has now laid a criminal charge of harassment against me. And they then start telling me that according to these court documents, that I'm a violent person. They say that their belief is that I'm a violent person, and that, they were like prepared in case I resist against them and so forth. So that was kind of freaky, and they gave me a big, thick document that I had to sign for. And that was now a charge of harassment. Same person. In all the criminal cases against me, this lady states in the documents that she's representing the Jewish Board of Deputies. So she lays the charge, but she's representing the Jewish Board of Deputies. And it turns out that she is the vice chairperson of the Jewish Board of Deputies. So although these cases are aimed about me apparently committing crimes against her, the fact of the matter is that the Jewish Board of Deputies, she's a senior person in it, and it's mentioned in there, even though this is apparently an incident that occurred between her and me. And the so-called harassment relates to me putting out a video update on my website about her, and she now claims that that's harassment. And so the first case has not gone to court, the crimen injuria one, but the harassment one, she went to the court to try to get the court to issue court orders against me, to seize my passport, to seize my computers and phones, to seize basically everything, and to shut me down completely. The documents state there that she wants my websites taken down. She wants all my social media accounts shut. Since the time of the cops being here in this last time, my Facebook account has been terminated. But she actually went to court to try and get the court to issue orders for all those things without me being aware of it. And so it's only when the cops arrived that I now realize that she's already been in court for the second time. And so I have to appear in court a week from now in order to, for this harassment issue. But that is pretty much what has come at me out of the blue. Oh, yes, and then the other thing that happened is I was contacted by a journalist. There are many things in her documents, and you can't really talk about the internals of the stuff since it's going to be in the court case. But what I will tell you is that she was claiming a bunch of things, and the next thing is I get a phone call about 2 days ago from a journalist from the biggest media company in South Africa. It's got a huge internet presence, and the journalist tells me that he wants to ask me my comments on this story, and he sends me a list of questions about my cases. And the next thing is this now hits the mass media, and so it's hitting the mass media today. It hit probably about 10 hours or so ago, and it's probably going to do the rounds across the world. And so,
is there a reason not to mention what that source is, that media is?
I would prefer to not mention specific businesses, Alex, but it is very
well, then
very well known.
It's out there circulating. They're publishing it and putting it out in public, right?
Absolutely. So
they're publishing. Yeah. Okay.
So the guy asked me for my comments. A very important thing in South Africa is that there is a law that if the media write about you, that they must contact you for your comments. And so I did give my comments. But the article that they published it for subscribers only. So I haven't been able to see the contents of the article, and I haven't been able to see whether my comments are in the article, nor have I had a chance to see if the article is accurate. But there are many, let's just say there are many discrepancies in all of these actions that are going on. And I even asked the journalist, I said to him, how was it that you got to know about my case? And then he didn't answer me. So there's a bunch of stuff going, Alex, and it's just coming one after the other. So I think personally that this organization is busy orchestrating a whole bunch of actions against me, and I have no idea what other things could still come. And I suspect I could be in for all kinds of nasty surprises. But that is my little summary.
They're doing to you what they're accusing you of doing to them. So they're harassing and persecuting you because you're telling the truth about them.
Alex, pardon me for interrupting, Alison. Alex, that is exactly how I was feeling about the whole thing. Even before the harassment thing came, there is a law in South Africa, a law against intimidation. There's a specific law against intimidation in South Africa, and the law states something along these lines. It says that if you go and you force some person to do something they would not have done otherwise, or you force a person to stop doing something that they would have done, then that is intimidation. And, you know, when I was looking at this thing, I was thinking, firstly, the Jewish Board of Deputies is going around South Africa intimidating people. They go to people of all races, and they go and they force them to do something different to what they would do normally. And the other thing is that here I'm dealing with an organization that basically represents the super rich. You're talking billionaires, multimillionaires, and here is a massive organization that represents 52,000 Jews, the richest people, the richest, best connected people in the country. And that organization's coming after me, and I'm a one-man band running a website. I'm one guy. I don't even have an organization. And I'm thinking to myself, I should be the one that's running to the court saying, please, please, can the government and the police give me protection against the rich? The super rich are coming after me. And that's how I truly feel about this thing, Alex.